Veteran wide receiver Diontae Johnson failed to make the 53-man roster. Browns released him yesterday. Albert Breer with his thoughts on Johnson and the Browns.
A big part of it is whether or not you can trust him. You know what I mean? If you give him a spot on the team and he doesn't have a certain role, is he going to do all the right things? And that's important, you know. A lot of times with guys like him, like, you can keep them in line if they've got a real role, right? Like if they're a starter, but if the guy like that's not a starter, are you better off keeping him in where maybe you're not sure you can trust him? Or are you better having a younger developmental player in that spot? You know, like I think that's sort of what it comes down to when we're talking about those things. It's also, you know, like part of it's a function of your special teams value and what was he bringing from a special teams standpoint. Because once you get down, you know, your fourth receiver, your fifth receiver, your sixth receiver, now you're talking about those guys having to contribute to the team in other ways, like outside just the offense. So, yeah, I just think Diontae Johnson is one of those guys where if he shows you that he can catch 50, 60, 70 balls or that he's going to be that guy for you, then you're willing to maybe take the risk. And then beyond that, you have to figure out whether or not you trust him. If he's going to play a smaller role, I could definitely see where a team would say, well, it's just not worth the headache to have him around based on how we maybe project this playing out after everything that happened in Carolina and Baltimore and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and in fairness to Johnson, I agree 100% with Albert Breer. He was nothing but good while he was here. As that was being talked about, one of the things that I had said about this roster heading into the offseason, they needed young playmakers. They've got some potential now. You got Sampson and hopefully Judkins at some point, Sanders in the backfield. Corley's intriguing. Isaiah Bond's intriguing. So they've kind of addressed Harold Fannin. They've addressed what I thought was a huge weakness on this roster. Now they got to go out and do it in the regular season.
Yeah. And what I really like is there's a lot of guys there that can create different types of explosive plays. Like, you know, with Isaiah Bond, especially, like that's the verticality, right? Be able to get more vertical. Well, Joe's got that big arm, and, you know, and then you've got guys, Corley, Jamari Thrash, guys that can create yardage after the catch, which was just something that it felt like they never did last year. I'm sure that's an over exaggeration on my part, but it felt like when they did complete passes, it was, you know, it was what it was. Harold Fannin's really nice after the catch, and we've seen Dylan Sampson have a few plays this past week. The one pass that he caught and then spun around and stayed up and got a first down and things like that. It's betting on potential, but like that's how you recover from giving out a big contract to a quarterback that never worked out. Is you get younger and you get guys with this upside potential, and this passing offense just wasn't good. And now you've got a guy that is going to take risks in Joe Flacco. Like I saw someone say, like, he's either going to throw the craziest completion you've ever seen or a pick six, and it could be either one on every play. And we just don't know. It's gonna be a ride. But like you've given him some guys now that have the upside potential, guys that can create after the catch. And we saw David Njoku have a huge year with, or not full year obviously, but he had a really great run with Joe Flacco because he was being given opportunities to create after the catch. And now they've got even more guys that can create after the catch. And they added speed with Corley and Bond. And like, they understand that they were limited to where they didn't have a bunch of guys that could take the top off the defense. And if you hit on these young guys, you've got these young guys for 3, 4, 5 more seasons, to where you've got a lot of rookie contracts and a lot of upside players in cost control. So there's still a lot of betting on upside, a lot of betting on potential, and not people that are necessarily proven. But they did bring in, I think, especially over the course of the last couple of weeks, just an influx of guys that have playmaking ability.
Yeah, and not all of them are going to hit. But if 2 or 3 of them hit, all right, now you got a nice nucleus. Now you have something to build an offense around.
Yeah, and like I will always be in favor of taking chances on players with upside potential, with high ceilings. Like Isaiah Bond's, like, he's got a low floor, he's raw, he's underdeveloped. Same with Malachi Corley. I understand that like it's going to take some coaching and there's a chance that it doesn't work out, but like limited ceiling guys are only going to get so good. I love taking chances on guys that have some elite physical traits and ceilings that, like, hey, if he gets the right coaching, if everything clicks in his head and we get the right quarterback and the scheme fits him and all these things, like, he can be really, really good. Those are the kind of players they brought in, and those are the kind of players I'm always going to bet on. And like you said, you only need to hit on a couple of them. They're not going to hit on all of them. I mean, if they hit on all of them, that'd be awesome. But like that's not going to happen. But like, you did take some chances and you brought in a lot more talent that I think was worth taking chances on.